Welcome to Baz Travels. After driving 14,826 kilometers through 24 states and Washington, D.C., I've seen rocket launches to the Grand Canyon and Hoover Dam. I've explored Route 66, ghost towns, deserts, snow, and beaches on both coasts. From Vegas casinos to Alcatraz, the White House to Hollywood. Join me for a journey of the ordinary and the extraordinary.
Loading destination. Simulation starting in 3, 2, 1. To look around, move your phone or tablet. Click and drag if on a computer or move your head if using a VR headset. Please like and subscribe.
Washington Avenue in this section works as one of the main food and drink strips in downtown St. Louis. And what makes it interesting isn't just that there are places to eat and drink here, it's how tightly everything is packed together and how much of the local scene shows up across just a few blocks. Spots like Rosalita's Cantina anchor part of that mix, bringing in a different flavor profile compared to traditional Midwest food, while still sitting right inside the same street rhythm that defines the area, which means you can shift from one type of experience to another without leaving the strip. Then you've got places like Dog and The Docket, which represents the bar side of the street, and that's where the energy really builds, because these venues aren't isolated. They're stacked close enough that people move between them constantly, instead of committing to just one location. That clustering is what turns this into a proper nightlife strip, rather than just a collection of venues, because the experience isn't tied to a single place, it's tied to the street as a whole, where people flow between food, drinks, and different atmospheres without breaking that momentum. Food in this area also reflects a mix of local and broader influences, because while St. Louis has its own staples like toasted ravioli, St. Louis-style pizza, and barbecue, this stretch doesn't lock into one identity. Instead, it pulls in a range of options that sit side by side, which gives the street variety rather than repetition. That variety matters because it keeps people circulating, since there's always another option within reach, whether it's something quick, something sit down, or something more focused on drinks and food. The way these venues interact with the street adds another layer. Because a lot of them open directly onto a footpath, using outdoor seating, wide entrances, and visible interiors to push activity outward, which means the street itself becomes part of the experience instead of just a way of moving between places. That outward energy is what makes the area feel active, even before stepping inside anywhere, because you can read what's happening just by moving through it, seeing where people are gathering, and how the flow builds across the block. There's also a timing aspect that keeps the section working, because the same venues shift throughout the day, moving from dining into drinks, and then into late night activity, which stretches the usable life of the street far beyond the single peak period. That overlap between food and nightlife is what keeps it consistent, because instead of relying on one type of crowd, it pulls in different groups at different times, all using the same space. What defines this part of Washington Avenue isn't a single venue, it's how all of them work together, combining food, drinks, and movement into something that feels continuous, where the street itself becomes a destination rather than just a location of individual places.
Simulation terminated. Please comment, like and subscribe.